Hello, everyone. Welcome to Cherry the Geek TV. I'm Joe Vanourney. Today, we are joined by Michael Sirow, who stars alongside Mel Gibson, 50 Cent, and Brian Van Holt in new serial killer thriller Boneyard, which is now available on video on demand and is in select theaters on July 5th. Michael, welcome to Cherry the Geek TV.
Thank you so much, Joe. I appreciate
Let's
it. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Let's start off for people watching this interview, kind of give them the Cliff Notes version of what Boneyard is about.
So, Boneyard is based off of the West Mesa Murders, which happened 2009 in New Mexico. A young lady was walking her dog and stumbled upon a gravesite, an unknown gravesite, and it's just one of the, I would say, most underrated, not really spoken about unsolved mysteries, and here we are. So
you play John Tate in the film. Who is John
I
Tate?
do.
How does he fit into the film, and what attracted you to playing this character and starring in this type of film?
So I'm going to go answer your last question first, and then go backwards. Is that okay?
Sure.
Okay. I would say that no, John Tate, who is a very recognizable member of the police. He's a cop. He is a sad to say crooked police officer on the force and a prime suspect in the of the murders going on. And also just to about the getting involved with the film. A producer friend of mine who is one of the producers of the movie, he sent me the script, and he told me that there was a character there that he just it's not something that he said that he didn't think I would want to play it, but he said that he thought of me when he read the script. And then I guess it sounds like a compliment, but is that like an insult or a backhanded compliment? But I read it, and it was just like a challenging kind of thing that I'm not, because look, I played a lot of you go and you tape or you audition for a bad guy, you play a bad guy. It's just very one dimensional kind of you run in and you start holding a gun to somebody's head, or you're killing people, and this is not that type of bad guy. I mean, a lot of people, for example, are saying, okay, you're the villain or you're a bad man, and I don't see him, and I didn't see him as that when I read it. I did not see a guy who is the villain or a villain, because look, this is someone who in life, right? We all have our obstacles and inner demons and problems and things like that. And I'm not condoning any of Tate's behavior, but I was like, there's a lot of layers here to play with on this guy, because and one of the things that I found was, there's a bit of a transition where he's kind of trying to start, showing that side of his humanity. If that makes any sense. And so, but it's he's definitely someone that overuses his power as a police officer, as a someone you're supposed to trust, and he completely compromises his own integrity by, getting sucked in with cartel, getting sucked in with drug, just all that. And it's kind of uncomfortable. It was uncomfortable to start, doing some of the scenes with a lot of the young ladies who were my scene partners in those particular moments. But I just like feeling I get drawn to things that it's kind of something I wouldn't normally personalize with. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I don't know if that answers that question, but yeah. So
As you mentioned earlier, this movie Boneyard is based loosely based on the 2009 West Mesa murders in New Mexico. Those murders went unsolved. Your character John Tate, as you said, is a possible suspect. Is John Tate based on any real character in that West Mesa case? Was there a cop that was a suspect?
It's interesting that you're asking that question. I and again, I'm trying to stay within the scope of. I want to say yes, but you're the first person to ask me that question. The question is just yes, but and I remember one of the co-writer and producer Vince, who was very vocal about. I don't know if you had a chance to speak with him, but he's got a lot of. I mean, this is his story, not his story per se, but he's full of the knowledge of what But this is a fictional character, but it's kind of yes, it's related to an individual who he didn't really have all these issues with prostitution and the drugs, but there was some things that he did that were very under the table and sort of Vince called it duplicitous. Where you look at you think of a real police. It's a friend. It's someone I can trust. It's but this whole story, and that's what this is, right? It's anything but that. And you have Van Holt, who's really doing a great job of he's the Elliot Ness of the whole thing. Like he's just trying to get down to it's the black or white, and he's so set on this one guy. But then it's not just him that's a suspect, and I think that the other thing that I really like, going back to your question before about Tate, is that he really is defending his innocence. He's saying that, like, yeah, sure, I may not really make an honest buck and not be the best, most trustworthy one, but I'm not all these other things, So
when you're cast in a role like this, how do you prepare? Do you do research on the case? Do you hang out with cops and kind of follow them around? What kind of walk me through your process in preparing for this?
No, I can't show my face to any cops in New York because I've got too many restraining orders against me. So God forbid I do that. No, I'm kidding. I'm joking. Starting with my wife. No, really, honestly, rehearsal. It was just rehearsal. It was just really just getting into the rhythm of the story, of just finding the beats and the scenes. Just having Nora, having Brian, having just everybody, Vince, the people that I worked with, just going over everything a million times and finding it that way. I think just really kind of being spot on with just what was on the page.
It's a very intense role. Your partners, Brian Van Holt, for example, very intense scenes with him. It's an intense subject matter. When you're working on a film with this type of intenseness, the scenes are intense, the subject matter is intense. Do you take any of that home with you at the end of the day, or are you able to decompress pretty easily?
No, I think I was having a lot of fun doing this. So some of it I would have to actually go back and reread just for on my own volition, just because I was curious about, okay, well, he's saying this, but is that subtext is that coming, but I was just, it's just so much. It starts off as just like having a scene with Brian, for example, like these interrogation scenes, it's just, we're talking, listening, and that builds. But the topic, I think, it kind of stays, but not in a way of like, I'm losing sleep over it. I think it's just, you feel good about the work that you're doing. Just knowing I would say it's all good stuff. Nothing stays with me that's like, hard to decompress from or anything. I don't know if that answers your question.
It does. We're almost out of time. Before I let you go, I want to throw this out here. This Boneyard's kind of a mashup of a serial killer movie. It's part thriller. I'm curious, just out of curiosity, what are there any favorite serial killer movies, thriller movies, cop movies, or performances in that type of movie that kind of inspired you growing up? Anything that you channeled or referenced in making this movie?
Oh my God. There's just so many. Working with having Mel around, for example. I mean, just you go back to films of the past, right, or stories. I think no one comes to mind. I think just a plethora of just a bunch of things, I guess. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't say that really resembles Boneyard, but I mean, Silence of the Lambs, I guess, is one. There's a Copycat. Have you seen that?
Mm-hmm.
Years ago.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of good, gory, disturbing, films that fall under that topic. So,
those are good picks.
Yeah.
Well, people can see Michael in Boneyard alongside Mel Gibson, 50 Cent, Brian Van Holt. Film's available now on video on demand, and you can check it out in theaters starting July 5th. And Michael, thank you so much for chatting with us today on Terry the Geek TV.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it, Joe. Thank you.
Approximately 6 weeks ago, one of our concerned citizens came across human remains while walking a dog. We discovered the remains of 11 women and one unborn child.
We never faced anything like this. They're sending in an expert.
Chief Carter, I presume.
Hope you had a good flight, Agent Petrovick.
I read your file. You've been looking for the boogeyman. Instead, focus on the regular guy just hiding in plain sight. We put serial killers into 4 categories. First, you got your visionary. They hear voices, Next, we got hedonistic. These are lust killers. After that, the power control oriented. But I don't think our guy is any of those. He's a mission-oriented killer. He thinks he's making the world a better place.
Hang on. You looking for a good time?
What do you say? You want to do this thing?
Oh, you know I do.
You telling me the serial killer can be an undercover cop?
So it could be anyone.
When I looked into his eyes were dead.
He's playing God. No one can get through life without pain. My pain is deep, but it gives me purpose.
We got a predator amongst us.
The papers gave him a name.
The Bone Collector.